That means another round of New Day Hot Topics. Joining me from the Seattle process are Brett Hamil and Travis Vogt. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about Seattle process.
The Seattle Process is a political comedy talk show that happens
Whatever
quarterly.
could you possibly find funny these days?
Every once in a while, we stumble upon something. It happens at the Northwest Film Forum quarterly, and we have some of the most brilliant politicians, artists, and activists on to mix it up and try their hand at being funny.
That's super fun, and it's all a live show?
Yep, it's a live show, and my job as the politically uninformed sidekick is to not know anything.
You're the Greek chorus.
And I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite job I've ever had.
We appreciate your dedication. Okay, so what we're going to do here is spin the wheel, land on a topic, and then anything goes. Do as you wish with your opinion. Let's see what happens here. Furry friends. Okay, so a lady tried to get on a United Airlines flight repeatedly with an emotional support peacock. There it is. I don't really have a question here. I just wanted to show the picture. Have we gone too far with the support animals or not far enough? It seems like we're sort of in between. Should we just let everybody get on with their peacocks and go for it, or should we have more rules? Because Washington, I think, is getting ready to fine people who go around with a vest on their pet, which I've thought of, just so they could take their dog with them.
I think if you invest in a vest, you should be allowed. In fact, that's my only qualm here is the peacock is not wearing a vest.
I know.
As you can clearly see.
Put a vest on the peacock, please.
That is where they went wrong. Yeah, okay, well, I don't know exactly what happened to her in the end, but she did not make it onto the plane. And yeah, so we'll just follow along, see what happens to her later on, see if she gets a vest. Could be a business. Hot mess. I love this story so much. This is so bizarre. Toronto police. Okay, these guys were out in their police unit. There had been a bust over the weekend of edible marijuana. Somehow they ingested some of it. I'm not saying it was, could be an accident for all I know. But they got high enough that they hallucinated and had to call for help from the police. They are the police. And one of them fell down on the ice and hit his head. And yeah, so that's what happened. What's our thought here?
Well, according to the article that I read, it was actually the cop who came to save them that fell on the ice. So that would just sort of add to the trauma of the situation. I would think you've already called the cops to help, and then that cop gets carted out in an ambulance because of the ice.
Absolutely.
And obviously, if you get too high on edibles, the last people you should call is more cops. They should have called a really mellow stoner who could show up with some incense, play some relaxing music, and just kind of vibe out with them.
You are so right. That is like a very practical
Think about
response.
it, Toronto police.
Yes, that's so interesting. And so apparently they are under investigation for not meeting professional standards.
Boy.
Cut them some slack.
Hopefully they got some nachos. Okay, say what? Starstruck. There is going to be a movie about Mr. Rodgers. You guys are too young. Everybody knows who Mr. Rodgers is out here. Do you know?
We grew up with Mr. Rodgers.
Did you?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
it must have been reruns. So guess who's going to play Mr. Rodgers in the film?
I'm assuming it's going to be the only other person that is loved and admired as much as Mr. Rodgers.
Tom Hanks. That is correct. That is what's going to happen. And that's going to be awesome because he'll bring him back to life and, well, not literally, but, in the film.
That would be a great movie, too.
That would be an amazing thing that could happen at your live show. So just so you know, that's what's happening with Tom Hanks, who's not running for president. Ooh, I landed on the thing I have in my hand. How about that?
All right.
That doesn't happen all the time. So I guess it was a little bit of an accident. Like if you look into the story, it's not as funny as it seemed on its face, but the majority leader of the California State Assembly introduced a bill about, they don't want people having straws and throwing them out and adding to the plastic waste. But inside this bill somehow came some language that people could get up to 6 months in jail if they gave you a straw at a restaurant unless you asked for it, which...
It's a little strict.
Yeah.
It's a little strict.
Imagine the sting operations on this kind of legislation.
I guess the idea is sort of like the restaurants where you're supposed to ask for water so they don't waste water, but apparently they're looking into this and trying to figure out what they want to do. So think, people, I bet the Toronto police will not be able to figure this out.
Use a straw, break the law. That's what I say.
Hey, that's pretty cool. Oh, look, we have to cheat because I only have one topic left. About 46 million Americans watched President Trump's first State of the Union, according to Nielsen ratings. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say. That's what happened. And he claimed they were the highest ratings, like ever, but he's really 5th or 6th. But yeah, so what'd you think? Did you watch it?
I had more pressing matters. I decided to clean out the drain in my shower.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like that really needed to be done right
You can
then.
always hear the highlights later.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Did you
If
watch?
I wanted to watch horrifying dystopia, I'd probably put on Black Mirror on streaming.
and go that
yeah.
way. So is this the sort of thing that you discuss during your show?
We might mix it up a little with Trump. We usually keep it a little more local, but it's kind of hard to ignore. I mean, it's the most popular State of the Union ever, so
Yes.
everyone's talking about it, so we've really got to...
That is a little odd, isn't it, when things are numerical and you can check and what difference does it make? But yeah, that's just my math question
Facts.
for today. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for
Thanks for
joining
having
us.
us.
We appreciate it. Brett is hosting another rendition of the Seattle Process next Friday, February 9th at 8 p.m. at the Northwest Film Forum on Seattle's Capitol Hill. We will post more on our homepage, as we always do. Up next, an easy recipe for homemade botanicals after this.
Ooh, yeah.